Huh. Oh, XenoThreat. I get it. I get XenoThreat. Hey, hey. Oh, more like XenoThreat. Boom. Oh, let me click some buttons. Let's click some buttons. How have I done this for years and I'm still awful at it? Hi. Hey. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's 2020. We live in the future. Or do we? We all locked indoors in the future, not able to go out, not able to experience the world. Well, that's good, because I like computer games. Bam! Get wrecked, 2020. I tricked you. I tricked you. You let me play computer games without going out. Oh, we can't go outside. Ooh. Well, I didn't want to go outside anyway, you shit year. I apologise, 2020, for swearing at you. I didn't mean it. So yeah, HOTAS wise, Constellation Delta, it's the best HOTAS and stick that I've ever used by some margin. The throttle, the verbal throttle is great as well. Like the stick, Constellation Delta is just amazing for Star Citizen. Like genuinely, I can't think of a better stick. Full stop. Like it's just great. I haven't used all the sticks in the world, so So, if you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets, that will allow me to more easily go, oh, this person has asked a question. It should be playing music in the background, but it's sort of not. With that, maybe it will be. Make our own music. So if it gets too loud, or if it's not too loud, I don't know. So we got a new video coming out today, looking at what we got to look forward to in January, and some board game content that's coming up. There's going to be another exclusive BoredGamer video for all my VIPs going out probably tomorrow, question mark, maybe Monday. It depends when Zin can edit it. We've got lots of stuff in the works at the moment. We've got our Toby eye trackers. I haven't used mine yet though because I've been hungover. Toby have sent us the eye tracker 5. Obviously it's natively supported with Star Citizen. So we'll be messing around with that. Also I've seen it's really cool for stream stuff in general because you can actually have it showing where you're looking on screen as well if you want. But it will always be my character's cleavage, that's or crotch, just constantly I think. So I hope everyone's having a happy new year, more genuinely. You listened to the podcast last night and liked it. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, I want to. I used to really enjoy the Redacted podcast that I did with the artist previously known as Twerk, Salty Mike, and WTF Source, now just Source, I believe. So, and I want to start doing some stuff like that with me and Zin and other content creators, and hopefully some of the Redacted people again, but under our own time zone, as it were. Because people don't know, I have quite an erratic schedule, and while I do now employ Zin full time, we're sort of still finding our feet with that. But I look after my dad and stuff like that at home, so I've got a bit of an erratic schedule, which YouTube works really well around, because it can sort of like produce videos as and when. Taurus is on the roadmap, sort of. So technically we can expect it Q2 2021. That looks likely, that currently the Taurus is roughly scheduled for then. We will know more at some point in January when they expand out the roadmap releases to show what they've got likely to happen in Q2, Q3, Q4. But it looks to me, and on the roadmap and the progress tracker, that the Taurus is probably planned to be ready for Q2 2021. I remember when we used to do the Starcast podcast back in the day. Yeah, sorry, I've realised I should have really mentioned you as well. So Astropub's here, a great content creator, does a load of great lore, and does the Captain's Table podcast. I enjoy that podcast too. Invite me back. Invite me and Zin. Invite us both. I love your face as well, Harvey. Hope you're doing well, sir. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, so we want to start getting some new content and working with some more content creators and people on the Discord. Just, you know, a mixture of VIPs. I refer to anyone that chucks money at me as a VIP. But just people on the Discord. Zin's going to be organising some BoredGamer sort of event stuff that we can do regularly in game, and people that want to get involved with videos, just want to help us record stuff, want to start doing silly stuff. That's going to start to be organised because I cover Star Citizen as a job, and there's a load of stuff that I have not tapped into yet. I mean, there's a huge amount we could do as a community, and I just don't really, I don't really shepherd the community at all. I just sort of have places where they can talk, but it's mainly an outlet for my videos, and I don't want to get close to the community in the way that I don't want it to become an echo chamber. I don't want it to become a sort of like I don't want people to share the same opinions or to go around press ganging other people, or what word am I looking for? Where you get everyone to vote the same way. But I don't want a community that's controlled or sort of like I don't want any form of activism from my community that I might be influencing just with my opinions. So I've sort of kept the community at arm's length when it's come to we should all do this sort of stuff. I'm not really one for that. Bias, yeah, it's whatever I'm thinking of, but bias is sort of what I was thinking of. But yes, so I want to start at the very least having stuff for community to do and actually make use of the community so that we can, you know, have fun, have a laugh, mess around, play some games together, get some better footage, do some better stuff. Did I get anything for Christmas? Not really. I don't really do Christmas presents. I give some away to my family. I got a load of cider which has now been drunk for New Year's. I made Christmas dinner for my family. I bought them Netflix subscriptions because so originally I had they had Netflix subscriptions, and I'd convinced them to get rid of them all because of some questionable choices that Netflix had done over the last few months, in my opinion. But it literally improves my dad's life having Netflix, so I was like, fuck it. You want Netflix? I'll get you Netflix. So I got them a subscription for that, and some other stuff. Got a load of other random stuff, but it was good. It's good love. I'm waiting at the moment for pieces for my PC. So, well, my graphics card and processor, which I've been waiting on for like 3 months. So you want to provide the community with tons of information while not influence them with your personal ideas? Yeah. I just don't want to. For the most part, yeah. I think that's fine, people being influenced by my personal ideas in the way that I'll obviously have a bias and present the news and talk about stuff, and sometimes I'm going to have my opinions and things. But I don't ever want to organise the community into doing a particular task or voting a certain way or doing a certain thing that's sort of like, I think we should all go and get CIG to do this. Or maybe I do, I don't know. When is the Polaris out, do you think? So, they are working on it in 2020. Brigading. Brigading is the word I'm looking for. Thank you. I don't want to brigade. Nor do I think I have the organisational capabilities to brigade. But Zin does. Zin's an organisation machine. Polaris, there's a load of work on it this year. Looks like some of that work is wrapping up by the end of 2021 at the moment. However, expect delays and bits and stuff like that on it, and expect more work to be needed beyond what's on the progress view. So I'm expecting the Polaris out Q2 2022 at the moment, really roughly. We'll know probably a little bit more in January. Did you see the streamer Cutlet hijacking and flying the Idris? I've seen some people hijack the Idris. I'm not sure if it was specifically Cutlet, but it probably was. The railgun can one-shot anything, can't it? Including another... Can the railgun one-shot another Idris? It does like 50k damage or something, doesn't it? Or something. It does. It might even be more than that. It does a lot of damage. Thoughts on the Corsair as a really high-end solo ship. So it's not meant to be run as a solo ship. When you're talking about solo stuff, like there is going to be the ability to have NPC crew, and there is going to be obviously AI blades. Now, AI blades, what forms of automation are we going to get? That sort of remains to be seen. They've talked about some of them: semi-automated turrets, extra sort of systems, some automation of like firing chaff and flare and stuff off, or noise fields and decoys. So it needs 3 to 4 shots on the railgun to take down another Idris. Okay, I haven't actually tested that at all. Can Drake be high end? Sort of. I mean, the Kraken is a assault carrier. I'd say that's pretty high end. It's just no frills, Drake, eh? Oh. I have not done enough testing with or much at all testing with the Idris yet beyond fighting it. Right, let's have a look at some of these questions. Let's see what's going on here. So, XenoThreat is the new set of dynamic missions and like a big server-wide event that's going to be happening for the 3.12 patch cycle. The thing with that is that it was obviously delayed at the end of December. They went, it's almost ready. They even released a load of teasers on it to like IGN and people that started playing them, and they went, oh, we're not ready. We're not ready, and we need a bit more bug fixing and polish before it goes live. So we're hoping that's going to be in January that it goes live. We're seeing, so with saddlebags and cargo additions and updates, once we have iCache in game, I would expect reasonably soon after iCache, they will start to finish off the Cargo 2.0 system, which would allow for things like the saddlebags, that would allow for things like larger cargo containers. Do you know if it's been revealed which ships are going to be picking up saddlebags from the Mole or Prospector? No. Technically, anything with a tractor beam, I suspect you'll be able to put it in like cargo to a lot of ships using either the handheld tractor beam with the boxes small enough, or just a ship's tractor beam. Potentially, you'll be able to put it on just all of the hull series as well on their spindles, but I actually suspect you'll be able to put it on a lot. Would IGN warn CIG of not giving them material that was uncertain for release in the future? So it's probable that CIG paid IGN. I would expect. Maybe it was just like, we've got this exclusive video for you. But I suspect they paid them a bit and said, we're planning to release here, then chuck that on your channel exclusive for an exclusive. So I don't think IGN would have argued with that. I don't know that's what's happened. It's possible that they just went, would you please release this? It's an exclusive video for you. You get first shot at it. And then Xylo did say that they tried to, when they knew that it wasn't going to make the end of 2020, they did try and stop. They did try to pull back on the trigger. Pull back on the trigger? Not have their finger on the trigger. But it was too late. So I'm not sure how it could have been too late. But it was. Or maybe they went, oh no, yeah, it's going to be ready, it's going to be ready, it's going to be ready. And the stuff went out, and then they went, oh, it's not going to be ready. Which is potentially more likely. How long is it socially acceptable to wish someone a Happy New Year? Like, every year is technically speaking a new year. That's true. Yeah, every year is technically a new year, not just the 1st of January. Oh, I see what you mean. Socially acceptable, probably the first week of January. Or the first time you see someone in the new year. Yeah, so some people have been talking about the FPS AI being a bit more active in some of the servers as well now. How's the progress on your new computer coming along? Literally just waiting for the CPU and GPU. Should be here mid-January. I talk about it in the video that's going to be going up later today. Ah, serious. You're really enjoying your Tobii eye tracker. Well, I look forward to using it as well. I want an exploitation system? As exploiting people like a politician. Oh. First rule of 2020 is we don't talk about 2020. Oh. How do you get items to save in your inventory? I lose everything when I log back into the game. When you're into your... What inventory? Your personal inventory? I don't think my inventory's been deleted when I go back in the game. That's working fine, isn't it? I think it was working fine. I was selling boxes. Is the 100 series a good utility starter, i.e. box missions, drug smuggling, and getting from point A to B? Yes, it is. It's got a little internal cargo bay. It's very suitable for that when it's not glitching. Squadron 42 will be straight to release. Yes, so Squadron 42 is, although they have internal betas and testing and that sort of stuff, it should be straight to release. It's possible, and when I talked to Aaron about this, he said that it might go to some Eva Carti just before it's released, just as a stress test. So when is the guess for Squadron 42 release? Not before 2022, according to stuff on the roadmap. And they've said it's done when it's done. So we don't really know. I mean, hopefully 2022. But, I mean, it could be further out even. I don't think it would be, but it could be. But I thought it was coming in 2016, so what do I fucking know? Seeing as per Nix will be worked on and done in 2021, that's not necessarily true for either of those. But server meshing is due earliest at the end of 2021. Do you think we won't see them until 2022? So, Nix is getting some artwork done in 2021. I would not expect that to be the Nix system. It is just 3 Nix planets that are currently mentioned, 1, 2, and 3. And we obviously know Dalamar's already done because it's in the standard system and it'll get moved to the Nix system. So, to me, it looks like Pyro and server meshing are roughly potentially aimed for Q4 this year. That is not a confirmation. That's what it looks like to me, looking at the progress view on the roadmap. That sort of makes sense. But we'll have to see what they say in January, later in January, because they'll be updating the roadmap further. But Nix, I wouldn't expect to see until 2022, end of 2022 anyway. Since 3.11, we've not been able to change ship components while the ship is out of storage, not even mining consumables. Do we know why they changed this? I think there were some bugs caused, database-wise, and some issues there, and they went, we'll fix this when we have iCache in. So I literally think they've gone, we'll sort it out soon when iCache comes in. So, before moving on, BoredGamer, thank you for making these AMA streams. They're very, very helpful for a beginner. No worries, ask questions, it's all good. It's helpful for me because I get to know what the community are thinking. I get to basically do a round of fundraising almost with donations and stuff like that as well, because a load of people typically join with the YouTube join button and sort of sign up on Twitch as subs and Patreons and stuff like that every time I stream. So it's super helpful for funding the channel, but it's just really, really, really helpful to get a finger on the pulse for what the community are thinking, what hot topics are, all that sort of stuff. Is there an update on Crusader and its landing zone / city? So, currently, in the 3.13 roadmap, Crusader and Orison are not mentioned. However, in the progress view, we can see that there's work going into 2 versions of Orison, version 1 and version 2. Let's actually bring this up. Planet content team, maybe? So we got Nix 1, 2, and 3. That's all getting work. That's ending sort of like in June. So end of Q2 2021. However, this is just an art team working on it. So it's not. This isn't Nix 1, 2, and 3 complete. This might be them fully concepted or something like that when they finish this. So sort of bear that in mind. They're doing loads and loads of work on the Pyro system as well, which ends the work on Pyro. That's quite a lot of art people. Q4, October Q4. We're still waiting to see some more people get added to this roadmap, though. We need the downstream teams, we need the core tech teams as well. So, where is Aussie 1? Yeah, here we go. So, we've got Orison, version 1 and version 2. So, Orison version 1 wraps up in June. Okay? So, there's an assumption that we'll see version 1 of Orison potentially Q2 2021. Yeah? Not confirmed, because there might be more work that needs to go in and this could be delayed. They did say originally that there was going to be Crusader Orison Q1, Q2 split release. So we could see something Q1. We could see something for that 3.13 patch. We might not. We might be waiting until 3.14 to see Orison and Crusader now. But we've also got version 2 of Orison, which expands out the landing zone further and sort of like completes it, and work for that at the moment, according to this progress tracker, and what we can see at the moment, ends at the end of the year. So bear that in mind. Things like Ruin Station and some of the other bits, they appear to be ending at the end of the year as well. So could we see a provisional Pyro in by the end of the year? Possibly. It's a possibility. We don't know for sure because we haven't got enough information yet. And we know that this stuff is probably going to be slightly delayed as well. Potentially this is like the rough plans on the progress tracker at the moment. I'm hoping for server meshing and Pyro, even if it's not the full Pyro by the end of the year. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what the rest of January brings. Do you think the Banu Merchantman will be next after the Polaris? That is what has been said most recently, that they'll do. The Polaris was able to be done quicker than Banu Merchantman because Banu Merchantman required more concept work. Now, do they need to finish the Polaris before starting work on the Banu Merchantman? No. They could have different team working on the Banu Merchantman. But it looks like they're finishing up at least some of the work on the Polaris by the end of this year, according to this progress tracker. So I don't think we'd have the Polaris this year. I think we'd have it Q2 of next year. What do you think is going on with the sales terminals at the moment? So yeah, there seems to be some database breaks and some reputation system breaks. The 3.12.0a patch broke stuff. We do know that Cloud Imperium are working on a 3.12.1 patch at the moment, and hopefully that will be, or hopefully they can do a little mini hotfix update that doesn't require any actual patching of anything beyond the servers to solve that. But if not, then we'll have a little mini patch hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So Squadron 42 has 3 episodes, but they're all individual games. They're not Squadron 42 broken into 3 parts. They are a continuing episodic trilogy. It's 2 additional games beyond Squadron 42, basically, but they're episode 2 and 3. Has there been any further word on the potential Secret Star Citizen Origin new ship they were talking about? So no, nothing new on that. SE Leaks seemed to think that it was going to be released with 3.12 live, which it hasn't been, but it could still be released as part of the 3.12 branch, and it might have just been that it wasn't ready. They seemed relatively confident that it's genuinely a thing, that new straight to flyable ship. So, do you think server meshing is the last major blocker to veg release? No, there's a huge amount of stuff that needs to get done for the game. Looking stuff as individual blockers is a weird thing. Like there's so many features that need to come together. I mean, after server meshing and then dynamic server meshing, which is what that will build into, they need to get this whole universe sim sorted. They need to get the servers significantly more refined. There's proper load of proper AI stuff and economy stuff that needs to be done, and a huge amount of actual gameplay loops. So iCache and server meshing do open the doors to a lot of content, though, for sure. What's your top feature this year? I mean, server meshing, if it can come in, that would be great. Salvage is on the progress tracker, so I'm waiting for that with bated breath. I mean, to be honest, in the coming January, hopefully, is the XenoThreat dynamic missions. That is something to genuinely do and be excited for, that I can do with major patches, new dynamic raid events and cool stuff like that. Really excited for that. So by this time next year, iCache and server meshing would have been implemented. I mean, that's the hope. That's not a confirmation, though. iCache should have been. iCache should be done in the not-too-distant future. And server meshing, there is the hope that it will be implemented for Q4 this year. But that's, as I said, not a confirmation. That will be static server meshing rather than dynamic. They are working towards that. My favourite ship is the Mercury Starrunner at the moment. It is by far the most technologically advanced and fully fleshed out ship that they've got in game. It's absolutely fantastic. It looks great as well. It's really fun. No, it's the Banning Merchantman. Well, maybe when it's in game. I do like the Banning Merchantman. I like the Orion. I like the Polaris. I mean, I like all the ships except for the Nomad and the Reliant series. I don't like them. I don't really have a build for the Mercury Starrunner at the moment. We've only been messing around with it rather than try to actually have a meta build. Really? There's only one access point? So I think they're going to be putting another exit point in for the Mercury Starrunner. So sort of bear that in mind. They sort of, John Crew had suggested that when he talked about like, we sort of dropped the ball with not having another exit point on the ship. What's my most hated ship? It's either Reliant or the Nomad, but I'm not sure which at the moment. I just don't like the look of the ships, and I think from looks, I just don't like the look of the Nomad. That's my own personal. Obviously, if you asked me. If you could only own 3 ships, what would you pick? Mercury Starrunner, because I love it. Carrack, because you can do pretty much everything else. And probably the Reclaimer. Yeah, because I'm sort of into salvage and treasure hunting. It's either that or the Orion. But I think that it would be probably more fun for me in the Reclaimer. Yeah. Yeah, so we're expecting in January for the new XenoThreat missions to come in. Thank you very much, Mad Bad, for the host. We're expecting that those new set of missions, that sort of raid gameplay on StarEngine servers to be enabled. They were part of the 3.12 release, but they weren't made live because they just weren't ready yet. Will the devs ever consider restarting servers to help performance on the back end? Could that help kiosks and other server degradation? Yes, so when they've got server meshing in, they'll basically be able to cycle the servers much more frequently as well. And I think that with iCache, that allows for them building towards full persistence, which also allows for the saving and copying of server states as they spin up another server or copy it across, and better sort of like crash handling and things like that with the servers. Do you think there will be a lot less Caterpillar in 3.13 as people will trade them for the C2? Potentially. We'll have to see how the C2 performs, for sure. I do think that a lot of haulers will transition to a C2. However, we also are going to start to see some work on the modules for the Retaliator, so modularity for ships. The Caterpillar will then become a lot more sort of like, ooh, exciting for people as they go, well, modularity for the Caterpillar probably isn't too far around the corner. And that was what the ship was originally sold on, modularity, not the fact it was a cargo hauler. On the Orion, what's your thoughts for crew and gameplay? We don't know what sort of scale the mining of the Orion is actually going to be now. They doubled it in size. How do you operate that? How do you, like, do you need to be manning a load of stations? Can you just be manning a couple with AI blades? Like, we don't really know. Like, strip mining is a magnitude above what we have in game for mining. Who won the Mercury Starrunner last month? It is posted on my Reddit, and it will be in the video that goes out live later today. I've put the winner for the Mercury Starrunner and the Talon out, and this month's giveaway is for 5 ships to 5 separate people with game packages and lifetime insurance. A little bit of a fleet It's one of each of the 100 series of ships, and a Talon and a Shrike. We're giving away any news on Multicrew. No additional news on Multicrew. Is it possible to get hold of the Nerf gun? I've seen the ammo, but not the gun. So the Nerf gun, the WoW Blast, are at the moment exclusive to subscribers. Well, I say exclusive. You can purchase them if you're a subscriber, and then you can gift them. So I know a lot of people bought them from the Star Citizen Trades subreddit, for example. I'm not sure if I'm condoning that or not. I'm neutral about it. Do you think we'll keep the Reclaimer's claw? So the Reclaimer is supposed to be more salvage, as in more. It pulls with tractor beams and grabs onto things with its claw, and then pulls them into its mouth with tractor beams and stuff is the idea, as far as I'm aware, and then crunches that down into cubes. So you've got different types of salvage. You've got hull stripping, which I suspect the Reclaimer can probably do as well, thinking about it. You've got siphoning, which siphons gas and liquids. You've got more, which gets large sections of ships and crunches them down. And is there another one? Is there another type of salvage? Probably is. Forgetting it. But you can also sort of like individually take components and weapons and stuff off, weld them off, and take them back to your ship as well. Do you think that there will be... we talked about that. Do you know if the Kraken and Privateer will be on sale again come Fleet Week / Invictus like it was last year? I would expect to see it again at Fleet Week, yes, so May. Is the Banner Merchantman still not in game? No, it is not. I spent £800 2 years ago and forgot about this game. Fucking Chris Roberts. Did you... what did you spend £800 on? Was it just Banner Merchantman? Yeah, the Banner Merchantman's not in game yet. It is now the oldest concept ship that hasn't had work on it still, I think. It's going to be a while. Obviously, you've got other ships instead as loaner ships. I'm excited for hacking gameplay. I want to see ship-to-ship cyber offensive attacks, ready to disable shields and stuff like that. So I wouldn't expect e-warfare to be too overpowered. It will be balanced, probably. I hope it won't allow you to just disable shields permanently or stuff like that. But I suppose it depends on the situation, maybe. Hey, Bored, I'm flying an Idris in the verse. Want to check it out? Nargo! Hope you're doing well, sir. You've stolen Idris. Yeah. Where are you? Should we have a look, see if we can get involved with Nargo's Idris? Bear with me 1 second. Nargo, do I have you as a friend or not? I might not own this account. I'll just load up Star Citizen. So yeah, the Genesis Starliner as well is one of the older ships as well, isn't it? Is the Starliner older than the Banner Merchantman? I thought the Banner Merchantman's older. Should I have you Uber Monkey, right? That might not be the account I'm logged into. I think I'm logged into just BoredGamer. Boop. Add friends. Go. I've sent you a friend request from my BoredGamer account. Yeah, I've got it. I remember I've got you on my other account. Legend. Can you invite me? Doop. Now I've got to play the try and join game. Oh. Hi, hi. Winner! I'm joining. Sorry. Let us... Hopefully that won't crash my Star Citizen. Come on. Come on. Game capture... Not back for blood, you dum-dum. Transform. Fit to screen. And then let's grab that. Have you over here. Can XenoThreat win, or is it a one-sided event? Don't 100% know yet how they plan to fully implement the XenoThreat stuff. Expect it to have multiple stages and not just one thing going on. There should be a few things going on, but there's certainly ways to fail, I suppose. There's an Idris and Idrises and Javelin fighting, so there's supposed to be a fleet battle. Do you like the new elevator panels? They're pretty simple. I mean, they're functional though. Yeah, there's no new news on the Banning Merchantman at the moment. Whereabouts are you, Nargo? Where do you want me to meet you? Oh my god, my frame rate is dead. Oof. Oof. I know for a fact you can't side with the XenoThreat. Well, there could certainly be some other bits that they may add for the future. Everest Harbour, yeah. I'm at Lawville at the moment. Keyboard, mouse, HOTAS or HOSAS. So, a lot of people love joystick, okay? A lot of people swear by it. I'm very much in the opinion of whatever is suitable for you, because some people are going to love certain setups and not others. I prefer keyboard and mouse at the moment for just ease of use. But going from first person to flying in a ship, it's, you know, it's a little annoying if you have to have all these things all over your desk. If you've got enough desk space, then HOTAS for me is absolutely superb. Like I love the Virpil Constellation Delta. I think it is the best HOTAS I've ever used by far. And I recommend them heartily. Great stuff from Virpil. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just genuinely love their products, or at least, very least, the Constellation Delta and the throttle they do. Yeah, so game performance has been a mixed bag with 3.12. Some people have had terrible drops in frame rates. Others only in certain areas. Certainly, when I start, especially in Lawville, I do get certainly get low frame rates. That's what we're getting here. Kraken, Privateer, Banning Merchantman. Does the Kraken make the Banning Merchantman obsolete? No, I mean they're different ships still. I mean, yes, okay. So the Banning Merchantman is more of a hauler / mobile bazaar shop, yeah? So you're going to be able to get there much quicker than you would in a privateer. You're going to be able to get to more places with that Banning Merchantman. You're not really having ships necessarily land on you like you would with the privateer. The privateer is more of a space station. I expect the Banning Merchantman to be more efficient as well, faster, that sort of stuff. I mean, they both have modular shops and stuff like that. That's going on with the privateer and the bounty merchantman. So they definitely cross over to a lot of the sort of same stuff, for sure. When do you think we'll get full Vulkan support and we'll have optimized visuals for the game? So, it was something I was hoping they were going to get in the game by the end of 2020. Well, obviously, they have not yet. They are still working on their Gen 12 renderer. So, when do I expect that's going to be in game? We'll see in January. It appear on the roadmap almost certainly for their first implementation. So that's going to be the start of integration with the Gen 12 renderer in Vulkan, but they're still going to have DirectX 12 as far as I'm aware at the same time, and then they're going to move fully over to Vulkan. I think that's still the plan. What is the likelihood of crafting to ever enter the game? So they've talked a bit about crafting and implied that it is going to be in-game, but we don't know to what extent it's going to be in-game. Boop. I love the fact it tells me what hangar my ship's in on the actual ship now. Hang on. Thank you very much, Nago, as well, for saying, come and have a look at my Idrisy boy. Good old Cutlass Black. Have I just instantly closed you? Is iCache meant to decrease the server load so that interactive NPCs and or NPC ships respond much faster, or is that mainly server meshing? So iCache, along with server optimizations, should allow for a lot more server optimization. Sort of server meshing goes beyond that and allows multiple servers to seamlessly share data. So they can spin up and spin down when they need new servers, basically. So that you don't ever get to a load limit. Pending... what am I doing? Oh! Why did they spawn my ship in at a jaunty angle, eh? Oh, Star Citizen is a pretty game. Who's a pretty game? I am. Yeah, you are. Doop. Doop. Okay. No worries. I probably will visit again. Did we say Everest Harbour? Is that where we're going? So, did you... What? So, oh, yeah, so, with the XenoThreat stuff, there's going to be Idris and Javelin. Don't you worry. There'll be fighting going on. So, I'm interested in what's happening with CitizenCon this year. Like, are CIG going to be trying to get a CitizenCon in early, if possible, or is that still too much of an issue with the potential of cancellation from coronavirus? Are they going to plan one definitely for the end of the year? Are there going to be a couple of events? So we were just talking earlier about, was it Cutlets? And some other people stealing Idris? What do you reckon? Because this project has no investors, might we see an eventual open server after its service years? What? So... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't realise it's been scanned. I'm being scanned. Thank you. Bye, Popo. So, is it Nage? Did you steal this? Yeah, he did. Oh, so the amount of effort CIG went into, yeah, making this ship so it could not be stolen. Oh! A big ball of plasma of Rayleigh death. How fast does it go? Huh. Well, no, so okay. So I quite like stuff like this. Like, people stealing these ships, breaking into stuff, breaking stuff. I love that. I think it's, like, super fun and super silly. Like, it's what's going to make events and stuff fun. Like, Fleet Week in May, that was hugely fun because you were able to fight the UE Navy. You were able to actually fight the Javelin and the Idris, push them into planets, do silly stuff to them. That was absolutely great fun. It goes 1,500, almost 1,500 meters, 1,450. Okay, that is pretty slick. Let me just land here, just in case I crash out. And then I'll go and have a little EVA explore of it. Where do you want me to land? Where am I landing? Up here? Ah, nice. Let's go have a little sit-see. So I'm just landing here quick so that I can then take off again immediately. Oh, where'd you go? Where did the Idris go? There it is. I wonder how many Idris can we steal? So that's something I'd like to do. Get as many Idris as we can. Who's a big chonky boy? So it's interesting as well, like the Idris, even the Idris M, which is this is, specifically the M, because it's got the railgun on it and it's the military version, but it's, as a ship that turns up to help, it's not the most military ship, it's more of a carrier. So it was just, I think that's an interesting choice. It's cool that it's tough and it's cool that it's in. But I want to see them operate as carriers, I suppose. And maybe the Javelin turning up is maybe more appropriate. You want me to have a little sit on it? Yeah, we can. Naga's moving at the moment. I'll keep up with him for a minute. When he stops again, I'll stand on it. You can call and land it in any of the extra large hangars. What? You can store it? I didn't know that. I haven't been paying attention. So, yes. Perspective-wise, the ships look really small when you're on the outside, but when you're inside them, they look absolutely massive. That is a perspective thing. That is pretty cool that he can call that Idris. Oh! I wonder where Nargo is going. And thanks for showing that off. That's appreciated, mate. Oh, my eyes! Oh, what's going on? I don't want to have the green flicker of death. I think Nargo may have gone. Oh no, he's just gone to Magda. Let's go and follow him. We'll get back to the AMA stuff in a second. I think it's interesting to have a quick look at the start getting interest. Do you know what? I suspect so in the future. The Idris is the ship from the original Kickstarter video. Yes. Somewhat evolved because it's now a frigate rather than just a corvette. Yeah, who knew I would need an epilepsy warning? Where did Nargo go? Interesting little jump session. There you go. He's gone. Where'd he go? Looking forward to this sort of like for bounty hunting operations, actually tracking people and getting a better star map as well. At the moment, the star map is it's relatively trash. It's semi-functional, which is what they want. But we want to get a much more functional one, I suppose. To what extent do you agree with Molvage's view on the so-called hate click videos based around Star Citizen from channels like Inside Gaming or that terrible infographic show? Okay, so I haven't actually heard Morph's full opinions on that, so I won't speak for him or assume exactly what he said. What I would say is that some content creators, whatever source they are, they produce news in a more critical mocking style, or typically tends towards more negative swings on stuff. A lot of that, when it comes to Star Citizen, is also partly because they don't do enough research or much research at all beyond looking at other negative articles to go, well, if they've said it, that must be accurate. And it's not. So you get this sort of like, I was going to say Chinese whispers, but I suppose you're no longer allowed to say that anymore. And you sort of get this warped sense of reality that people are saying is true, that game is scam, and saying it as fact. So Inside Gaming and stuff, I'm not a huge fan of them or anything. And I'd say, look, but they're producing more mocking content, and they'll go towards the more negative side, saying, look, these gamers on Reddit, they said that they hate the game and it's a scam, and they spent $40,000 on it, and they still haven't gotten their banning merchantman, and things like that. And it's just like, okay, well, you want to express a negative opinion of Star Citizen to other people because it's sensationalist, and that's sort of So you just sort of bring the Idris, and I believe the turrets will auto-fire because the NPCs on board will target enemies. Which is pretty cool. It certainly looks pretty cool, eh? Ah! This pirate's shooting me. So I did a video a few days ago because I saw a article, Star Citizen misses its deadlines yet again, super delayed, Star Citizen Squadron 42 is delayed again. And I was like, oh. So I read this article, I was like, this is going to spawn a load more articles that are all incorrect, saying that Star Citizen has been delayed again, and it's basically this is just stemming from the fact that Chris Roberts said in his letter that it's done when it's done, and that about 6 months ago or 4 months ago or so, they said, oh, Squadron 42 is not going to go into its internal beta phase because we're still working on it. And apparently that's a delay. That's not any form of tangible delay beyond they haven't got a release date. They haven't had a release date for Squadron 42 for ages. So it's not an additional bigger delay or anything. It's just sort of like we're going to see a load of articles based on Star Citizen delayed again, because they like to do that at the end of each year. I say they, sort of like the more aggressive media when it comes to that sort of thing. I say aggressive. Probably aggressive's the wrong word. But it's just sort of like no research done, loads and loads and loads of incorrect things when they're talking about facts, like the game's been in development for 10 years and everyone has been disappointed by it, everyone hates it, it's, oh, they don't know how they're making so much money, and things like, it's just a load of, oh, come on, there's so many things to actually criticize Star Citizen on, and a load of these articles are just go for sensationalist, genuine bullshit that is not accurate or correct. And that sort of just annoys me, really. I'm not really sure why. Yeah, I do some extra research, have a look at what's actually happening. Also, you'll see a load of sources that are basically, oh, we've some guy on Reddit said the game is a scam. That's like, okay, I'm sure they did. And, oh, this other guy on r/games, he said that all his friends have died while waiting for the game. Okay. I mean, it's just a load of anecdotal evidence, which is a little bit annoying. As I said, there's so many actual criticisms you can make of Star Citizen, and that's fine to do. It's just, I don't see why they also need to make the more bullshit ones. And I don't see why they need to consistently get a load of facts wrong. Why not have an interview with me or Montoya or someone? Have a bit of a chat about it. What is going on here? Hello. Hello. What are you trying to open up? You hungry? You little hungry boy? You can open and close for me? You little hungry boy? Oh no! Oh no! 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 Don't shoot me! Don't shoot me! Yeah, that serves you right. What are you doing? You little... You're the son of a bitch. Right. This guy's been shooting me for ages. Yeah. Sort off. Let me look at the address. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, so I'm excited for these to actually be in game for players to use properly. Because at the moment, this isn't a proper Idris. This is a just ready enough to be used by NPCs in game. Yes, it has been stolen by Nargo here, and he's able to fly it, but it is not. It does not have a full interior. It is not technically properly flight ready. It is very cool, though, the fact that you can get people breaking into them, having all the turrets operated by NPCs still. Just sort of like makes me also wish that Cloud Imperium would go, yeah, some of this stuff isn't ready, but we'll chuck it in game. We'll let you, yeah, you can use the Idris. And I suppose they sort of have let that happen because they haven't like immediately patched it out, but they did put a load of effort into getting the ship. So that it couldn't be broken into. They did make a load of effort into that. Like by not giving it a full interior, by locking some of its functionality out. Do we know how many fighters it will carry? I think it's at least 3, and potentially more, if you sort of cram them in. I've seen it comfortably housing 3. But it looks like it's got room for more to me. Yeah, as many as you can fit. Can you sit on the hull? Yes, if Nargo stops moving, I will. Nargo, if you can hear me, can you stop moving for a second? I'm gonna... Yeah. I think he stopped. Oh, you start halting. Thank you. Appreciated, mate. You're a start. Oh, I have to hold wide to get out of the chair now. That is something I very much like. Do we have a helmet on? Yes, we do. Boop. Hello, little turret. How you doing? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. Why do I appear to be flying away from you at some speed? Like, are you moving away from me? Am I moving away from you? Who knows? Oh. I can't. You keep going faster away from me than I can get to you. Should we land on the... Let's try and land where Nargo is. Oh. have a little city down. Oh, yeah. There we go. I can't really get any gravity to sit. Oh, we briefly got gravity. There we go. Can we sit here? No. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is really disconcerting. Oh. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Give me gravity, give me gravity. Okay, we've got gravity. We've got gravity. We can slash sit now over the leave. There we go. Wait, you're not going to sit? You're not going to sit? No? Oh. Oh, yeah, you can see that I've been typing random things. So can we slash sits? No. Huh? Ah! No, 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 no. Well, could have gone better. That could have gone better. Could have gone worse. Unfortunate. Yeah, that's my secret code. That's how I speak in Star Citizen. Hours, da. Whoops. What was it? Right. Thank you very much, Narco, for letting me see that. No worries, mate. Appreciate it. I'll give you a poke later as well about trying to get some footage of that. I'll get Zin will probably want some, if that's cool. Hi. Right, let's go back to AMA stuff. Thank you very much. That was very much appreciated. You're a star. Bam. Oh, man. That was silly. Thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. That's the sort of stuff I like. That's the sort of stuff I want to organise in the community. Stealing a load of Idrises and doing a bit of an Idris battle. That'd be a laugh. What else have we got here? There was a lot of rips in chat. Jeez. I saw a load of people at the end of December. When 3.12 came out, stealing the Idrises. I say a load's a bit of an exaggeration. Whatever happened to Sandy? You don't see much of her. So I think that she's on the board of directors, but I don't think she's head of. I don't think she's VP of marketing anymore. I think they have a full marketing department that she helped set up. So I don't think she has as much input on the project anymore. It's hard to deny that Sandy obviously had a huge impact for Star Citizen's original funding, and I suppose you can certainly criticise some of those marketing practices as potentially predatory, but they were successful at the very least and had funded Star Citizen to a astronomical level. But I think she's doing well. I'll try and get some information about it at some point. Fuck the game, fuck Chris Roberts. Wow, that's very angry. Oh. You're also stupid fanboys, spending thousands upon thousands on these ships. Let me tell you something. £5 on eBay for 8 million out UEC. You can basically get a Carrack for $25. It's Alpha UEC you're buying, and I wouldn't buy it in-game currency, either from the real website or from eBay, because it will get deleted at some point. Also, I wouldn't buy anything more than a starter package either. But it's very angry of you to jump in and be grumpy you don't know for sure. Why do you feel the need to attack a fandom? Why calling everyone stupid? It sounds like you're the stupid one for turning up and being grumpy at people. Going, how dare you have fun and play a game? I'm just covering the game, mate. I do really enjoy it as a project, for sure. But, yeah. Chill, bro. Thank you very much, Patrick Scully. I would say Happy New Year, but that didn't really work for 2020. But here's some money. Zin needs a raise. Does Zin need a raise, though? Are you Zin? Zin is paid appropriately, more than appropriately, very well. So I need a raise. Give BoredGamer a raise. Come on, guys. When do you think we can expect the Perseus? Don't know yet. Because obviously there's a load of other ships, including the Polaris and the Banner Merchantman stuff that haven't been done. We know that the Perseus isn't in active production, though. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to the animals that they're planning to put in game. It just Star Citizen stuff coming online and all actually coming together is, I think, important. It's such a long, slow development. That is for sure. And Chris has said it's not going to be a decade away. It is much sooner than that, which is good. Because I don't want to be, 45 going, oh, do you remember? Actually, well, I don't know why I'd speak like an old granny and that. But yeah, I think we want to play it in a timely manner. They're going for a playable alpha model, which every quarter they're going to have more and more of the game available, and I think that actually slows down the development somewhat, but I think some people will probably prefer that as a development path. I'm not sure if I do. Fact, Chris Roberts has more than enough money to finish Star Citizen, but they will never... That's... What? What? Okay. There are so many things to criticise Star Citizen on. You don't need to make up anecdotal evidence and say something is a fact that you have no idea or clue or any proof is a fact. So saying, fact, Chris Roberts has more than enough money to finish the game. What? How can you know that? They obviously want to be producing loads... They want to be building the game for the next five more years, so they don't have to make any concessions. Now, you might go, that's ridiculous. But that's what they want to do. And you can criticise it for that. It's not a fact that they've got enough money to finish the game. I mean, if funding entirely dried up at the moment, they'd have to think of something else. Because although they've probably got relatively healthy cash reserves, and we'll be doing a video on the funding and the amount they made in 2019 and 2020, and having a look a bit more about the investments and stuff that they've had later. But you have no idea about that. That's a ridiculous thing to say. Oh, I see. There's just... said a load of stuff as facts. Okay, no worries. I'm fine for people to talk about their critique of the game and to be have a dissenting opinion, be critical of whatever, even of me. But it just don't present stuff as facts when it's not, and don't try to actively be uncivil. I mean. Uh, oh, the auto mods asked me to block some org. Yeah, the star map needs a massive update. You're handling that person very well. I mean, I think I'm just talking. I mean, I can share my own opinions on. Look, I don't mind people being critical of stuff. I think it's all good. I think it's healthy, in fact, to be critical of bits of Star Citizen. There's stuff they've demonstrably done wrong, or there's things I would have done differently for sure. There's been problems with the development. Yeah. That's fine to point those out and talk about them. But what's not fine is to go... to basically go, well, Chris Roberts is taking all your money, silly. They're only developing. They're just going to develop the game forever, and they're never going to release anything. But they are releasing stuff. They do actually probably want to try to develop it forever, but they actually want to have a release as well. So they want to have a release and then develop the game more. They're going to make a lot more money when they release Squadron 42. They're going to make a lot more money when they release the Persistent Universe. That's just, well, I say would be demonstrably true. That is highly likely. Historically, other games that have releases make more money when they're released. Yes, I was using a Logitech G502, if you could hear that mouse wheel. What do you think about the Talon becoming inoperable when it gets shot? Yeah, the Talon is far too fragile and it needs a little bit of love. I want to be able to use it for bounty hunting a little bit. And I can't really at the moment because it just gets knackered so quickly. Have the police managed to round up and lock away all the Brexiteers causing havoc in your country? Love from Belgium. We haven't got much in the way of unrest, as far as I'm aware. Let people do whatever they politically believe and want, as long as they're not being violent, I suppose. What are your options on a sandbox creative mode? Yeah, that's how I would have actually done the development of Star Citizen. What are your thoughts on private servers? They said they planned to have them, this is a while ago, eventually, along with modding. So is that still the plan? Well, they haven't said no. Is trading dead right now? There are bugs with some trading, yes. So you can basically bombard Lawville with the Idris cannon. There needs to be some sort of no firing at cities, doesn't there? There needs to be some laws and mechanics around that. Can I add you to my friends list? Yes, of course. You know, BoredGamer. I've got a public account which you're more than welcome to. You can no longer get the 100 Iron store, can you not? Is there any news on spaceships designed for ground attack? The Hercules A2 is designed for ground attack, as far as I'm aware. How exactly that's going to work with, like, gravity bombs, I don't know yet. But expect them to work like you expect. What additional feature would you most like to see included? Or are you happy to get things we know we're getting? So mainly I want things to come together. Like the dynamic economy and the universe sim. That is the main part that I want to sort of get into the game as soon as possible. Will there ever be a second man entrance to the Carrack? Oh, so they talked about this and stuff before. I don't think there's any plans to have any changes to the Carrack. Is scanning and exploration the next gameplay loop to get fully realised, do you think? I would expect it to be bounty hunting, getting fully implemented there in a load of different types of medical gameplay. Scanning and exploration, scanning and radar stuff, yes, that's going to be in very near future, it looks like. Exploration is going to be trickled in. So a lot of this stuff is going to get iterations of it in 2021 and new bits for it, but is it going to be a full gameplay loop for exploration? Well, probably not. Are we going to see a lot more points of interest and things that we can scan down and find? Probably. Considering that Anvil is the premier UE Navy manufacturer, what are the odds we'll get a capital ship from them? I'm expecting to see more ship manufacturers in the future, and I don't know what we'll see in terms of other capital ships yet. Can you not just be happy with the Perseus? I like the Perseus. So it's technically not a capital ship. Will Star Citizen support 240Hz monitors? Does it not already? Yes, it will. Does it not already? Morning from California. Really liked your podcast was in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll do that a little bit more refined, and we'll start inviting guests. And when Zin is finished editing the current video, there's a call to action at the end of it, which is like, who would you like us to have on as guests? What topics and things like that do you want for us to discuss? What are options on some kind of sandbox creative mode? As we talked about that. With people being able to steal the Idris in game and apply them, is it possible that we're just waiting on iCache and server meshing for them to be released? So, if GIG pushed it, they could probably get the Idris and the Javelin in game for player flyable relatively soon. But I'm not sure they're going to want to do that because they probably want them to be really refined and beautiful and come out after Squadron 42. That would be my expectation there. How confident you are that the game will handle massive multiplayer? Pretty confident. If it can't handle it in exactly the way they want with their server meshing tech, they'll either continue developing that server meshing tech even if it takes another 3 years or whatever, or go for the next best option. Heard anything recently on Theatres of War? Yes, it's okay. So expect some more Evocati tests in the not too distant future. They are working on a load of additions for it, including like the tank and that sort of thing, or the tonk. And they've been playing it internally constantly. So there's a lot of refinements and stuff they wanted to get in. But there was a lot of performance and netcode-based issues that they wanted to resolve as well before going out to a wider audience. When will we have AI-controlled turrets for ships such as the Gutless Black? Well, so that's going to be server blades. As you can see, when you steal a ship, an NPC ship, those turrets do fire still. So that's interesting. They're working on AI blades at the moment, as far as I'm aware. Don't know exactly when they're going to come into the game. We might see bits of that later in January. They might give us some indicators of when they are likely to be released. Could see some of that stuff in 2021. I haven't really checked out anything that's new on the roadmap. Is there anything stated about Vulkan implementation? Not really yet, because that would be part of the core tech teams, which haven't been added to the roadmap. They're getting added later this month. Who needs a hug? I'll give you all hugs. Well, I probably won't because of social distancing. Get away from me, you disease bags. What would be the next best alternative to server meshing? I don't really know. Something similar to server meshing. I don't know. Probably worth doing a video on it and talking about it. You could have... So, if they had to have star systems broken down into major separate servers with loading screens, things like that. Planetary systems being broken down into servers they need to load in. I'm not sure why they didn't do that in the first place, but they wanted everything super seamless. That's the plan. That's what they're trying to build towards. How viable is that? Well, it looks very viable. What happened to the Battlefield mode that CIG had? That's Theatres of War. That's what we were talking about a minute ago. It's Theatres of War. There should be tests of that in the next couple of months with the Evocati again. There was a load of problems with netcode and stuff they wanted to get polished out before bringing it to the masses. Thoughts on the need for the Argo Mole rework? It just needs a little bit of love. It doesn't need much of a rework. It just needs a bit of balance and getting the turrets working so that they don't get you stuck in them and things like that. Mining in general needs a little bit of a pass. How big do you think is the chance that we'll see land cruisers like Homeworld Deserts of Karak? Mothership or Dreamcrawler from June. So I love Homeworld. Homeworld is one of my favourite strategy space games. It's called Cool. And Homeworld 2 is great as well, with the flesh plague thing. Oh, yeah, Homeworld's great. I don't know to what extent we're going to have huge land vehicles. Probably small and medium-sized ones, but maybe not huge ones. You'd have to transport them to planets as well. What new types of gameplay do you think iCache will enable? So, it will enable bases and persistence more readily and easily, better cargo stuff. So there's sort of gameplay that it can open up very quickly. Bounty hunting stuff, cargo stuff, full persistence stuff, things like salvage, physicalized components, all that sort of physicalized inventory. So waiting on iCache really, and then obviously they need to go through. Do you think it... Oh, I've lost where I was. Do you have any opinion on Elite Dangerous announcing their new gameplay? Do you feel it could negatively impact Star Citizen's development, forcing them to rush? So I don't think so. I mean, I don't think Star Citizen will ever rush. I think it can only be a good thing. Like Elite Dangerous, I'm really looking forward to Odyssey. I'm really looking forward to the updates. It might give Star Citizen some new ideas. It might show what they can, what's a good idea, what's a bad idea. And I also think that there is more than room for another good space game that has a load of depth to it. And the more they're adding to Elite Dangerous, the better. It's pretty shallow at the moment for the sort of gameplay that I want Elite, but they are adding more and more, and I think it's genuinely a good game. What else do we have? What ship can I get around for $54? Grab yourself a Venture Titan. It's probably the sort of best sort of thing. Do you think it is realistic to have one day truly MMO experience with hundreds of players in one, flying dozens of ships? Yeah, that's what they're going for. I mean, they're going for thousands. It doesn't matter if a ship is finished or not. What difference would it make compared to any other ship in game currently? It flies, it shoots, it carries cargo. Very true of Theatris. What else we got? Fact. Putting the word fact in front of what you're saying doesn't make it true. That is a fact. Fact, you love pizza. Good job. What have we got? So, I quite liked Cyberpunk on the PC. It was a good game. Wasn't the best game of all time, like a lot of people were hyped it up to being. I don't think that Star Citizen or Cyberpunk could have ever lived up to their hype, so sort of bear that in mind. Star Citizen doesn't need to live up to its hype, though. It just needs to be a genuinely great game and not be sold on last-gen consoles. Do we know when the next free fly is going to be? Expect a free fly in May, for sure, with Fleet Week. Beyond that, probably another one in November, and there could be others. Any more leaks about the Origin straight-to-flyable ship? No. Nothing new on that. They used to have magnetic boots in Star Citizen, and they changed it to EVA. Eventually, the EVA backpacks will do simulated gravity by thrusting you downwards. I think Cyberpunk's a genuinely good game to bring up, but as I said, it's you can compare anything to anything, but it's not a fair comparison to compare Cyberpunk to Star Citizen, admittedly. Oh, in fact, you should subscribe to BoredGamer. Yes! I tell you what, so Cyberpunk for me just didn't have... The driving experience was poor. I think it's because I've obviously been spoiled by GTA 5 sort of driving experience, and I was just expecting more from it. The scenes where you're firing from the back of a car are just... they could have been a lot better. And I think that the general gunplay is... wasn't satisfying enough. Any news about the Hull series? Yeah, so they've got work on the Hull A and B listed in the progress tracker, and we're expecting iCache and some other stuff to allow for the Hull C as well. I think it was a good game. How many greed do you think there's going to be needed for the Polaris? And how many... And do you think you can use NPCs mainly? Yes. Or AI blades, depending on how AI blades work and the computer capacity of the Polaris. And we just sort of need to know that. Will the captain be able to fire the torpedoes? So I believe the you can fire the torpedoes directly from one of the pilot's consoles, I believe. That also makes sense because you can do that from the Perseus's pilot console as well. So you'll definitely be able to run these ships with NPC crew, but we don't know to what extent, how many stations and what exactly you'll be able to do with the AI blades. Yes, you'll be able to semi-automate some turrets, but how many turrets can you automate and things like that remains to be seen per ship. I wouldn't actively want to run these ships solo. I mean, obviously, get some friends, get an org, have people help you run these ships, but you should be able to do them with NPC crews as well. Oh, PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2, great games, yeah. Here's a need to raise. What? There's a Xen Rebellion. Would a referred $40 Aurora MR style packet still receive a Dragonfly? Is it $40 or $45 you need to spend? As long as you've spent the at least that amount, you'll get the Dragonfly. Both get the Dragonfly. Even though Star Citizen is a space MMO, will the cities be further developed to allow ground missions and exploration in the future? Yes. Some of the cities will get more areas and more areas on planets. Some of them will have missions associated with them. Some of them will have you attacking stuff, and like around ArcCorp, those buildings that you're about to land on, some of them will have interiors. Do you think they'll streamline cities so it doesn't take 5+ minutes to get from your bed to your ship? Or will they add more things to do in cities to justify that? Probably add more things to justify that, but also there will be full persistence, so you'll be logging out where you log out. Do you think the Sidnus mining tick will make it into the PU? At some point, yes. Probably said this 1,000 times, but will Squadron 42 be a standalone campaign? So, Squadron 42 can be purchased separately and as a separate single-player game from Star Citizen. Star Citizen does have some interaction with Squadron 42. When you get to certain parts in Squadron 42, it will allow you to enact character that you had from Squadron 42 in the in the Star Citizen universe, it will allow you to have access to some of the military equipment, like the F8 Lightning and some other bits. Access means that you can probably buy it in-game. If the Talon eventually gets updated to be functional even after losing a wing, do you think the Mustangs should be too? Yeah, I mean, some of these ships need to be tweaked so that they don't just instantly go, well, you're screwed. I want it to be much more trying to target individual systems rather than just my wing broken off. How many crew do you think it's going to need for that? We talked about that. What is CIG's plan to push Star Citizen to scale? This push for fine detail doesn't seem like it can be pushed to 100 star systems in a respectful time. So, I'll tell you what that plan is, Crown. They have a new studio which is headed by Turbulent, which they're building in Montreal, that are going to be focusing as a large part of what they do on new planets and star systems. That is one of their major focuses, and it's they want to get 100 plus people there in the next 3 years. So expect that's the way they're going to build out the huge amount of star systems they want. They've been building the tools for those star systems for ages now, and those assets and those tool sets. So, do you expect lots of missing or improperly working aspects of Cyberpunk, like janky driving, to be fixed with DLC? Not DLC. I hope that would be fixed for free as part of just general patching. Okay, so look at what happened with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, disastrous release, and some genuine, just outright lies about its what it's contained in its release. But they sat down and they, over the next 2 years, got more and more updates, which led to a genuinely great game. No Man's Sky is fantastic now. It's got a load of features, it's got multiplayer that works, and it's got a load going on for it, and it is a great game. I think if some people could only play one game for the rest of their lives, with No Man's Sky you'd have a huge amount that you could do there. When will we see AI crew and computer blades? They're receiving work in 2021. We'll know a lot more later in January when they update the roadmaps. We don't know how prioritized they are. That's my prioritization dance. Hi, Board. Love your face. Send me UEC. Wow. What do you think about limiting the amount of UEC a new player can be sent when the game goes to beta, so players can't lessen the game for them by giving them a cat on day 2? Okay. Different people have different win conditions and want to play the game in different ways. Sort of let them. There's going to be some people that have got a huge fleet of ships and some people that don't. I think it's going to be much more about time played and personal skill compared to what you start the game with pretty quickly. And remember, you can just get, if you want a ship, if you want any of this cool stuff, just get in an org that's got them and be part of that org. Borrow a ship from a friend, whatever. Inequality is a thing that I'm okay with. As long as there is a good economy driving stuff, because there's going to be massive costs for running some of these ships, and it's going to be efficiency and amount burnt and stuff like that, rather than people going, well, I've got all the ships in the game. Yeah? How much does that fleet cost you? How effective is it when you use it? And how much money does it cost you to use your Idris or whatever? Like you'd have to do stuff really efficiently. How many year board just logged on? So sorry if you've talked about this. Do we know what the process of ship naming, how it will go? So I've actually included this in a video that will come out in a little bit later today. Ship naming, we don't know what the front end customization for ship naming for 3.13, the next major patch, is going to be like. They have said that ship names don't need to be unique, as they have serial numbers attached to them as well. Cool. But they also, Dave Colston also said that unique ship names as part of promotions could be unique, and I was a bit confused by what he meant there. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the front end and what the plans are for ship naming, but it's planned to come in the next major patch. Ships will have unique serial numbers, you can name your ships. Will it have a cost associated with it? Probably. It looks like it will be literally written on the side of your ship, that name as well, and you'll be able to scan to see the ship's name. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool for customization. Not sure if it's me, but the frames have gotten lower. For anyone else, yes. So 3.12. There are definite performance problems with it compared to previous. That I've definitely seen noticeable frame rate drop. Are there any updates to the new Preacher, Less Than Lethal Weaponry, or Advanced Bounty Hunting stuff? So we're going to get new Bounty Hunting stuff and the Player Status System updates later this year. So expect to see proper Bounty Hunting gameplay using Less Than Lethal Weapons probably this year as well. I don't have anything more for you at the moment yet, though. Do you think that we will see much faster development after 2021 with most of the core tech finished? So there is a huge amount of core tech potentially coming 2021 or soon after that. And yes, I think it does open the floodgates to a lot of content. So at least it will seem faster. So we'll see gameplay loops and stuff like that. And there's obviously a new studio that they've built out as well. So when do they add boats? So when they add boats, do you think we'll be able to sail an 890 jump? It's practically a boat already. So if you look, the aquatic boats and vehicles are specifically a Squadron 42 task at the moment. Expect to see them in the persistent universe. But aquatic vehicles are a Squadron 42 task currently. So they want them for Squadron. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to buy it. Oh god. No. We're good. No. Knocked over a bowl of soy. Oh no, why is my room such a tip? I know why. Because I was really drunk on New Year's. That's why. And my room is now a tip. Oh man. I've got a really snuggly electric blanket though. So this, I bought this as a just after Christmas present for myself. This nice little warm snuggly blanket. It's all electrified. So if I die because I electrocute myself, then just remember, probably don't get an electric blanket. But if I don't, I want to be buried with it to be nice and comfy. I also want to be buried with all my fans. No. With all shops and vendor stalls being functional eventually, there are quite a few that do nothing at the moment. Yeah, but the food stalls and all the different sort of shops and stuff will have different inventories and be functional. That's the idea. Could you give us a guess when you think we'll have server meshing? As a guess, and optimistically, Q4 2021. That looks what they're trying to get towards. That might be too optimistic. We'll find out more in January. When does the first quarter start this year? It's starting now. The first quarter content is typically planned to come out at the end of March. So 3.13, the new patch, end of March. And then Pobri. What do you play me? Feel free to add me as a friend. I'm going to dash off pretty soon from the stream because I want to get this video out that Zin's been working on. And I want to eat as well. Do you think CIG will release the game with only the main 5 or so career paths and maybe 10 to 20 systems in order to not have a release in 2030? Well, as I said, they've got a studio that's working specifically, or at least largely, on planets and star systems. So that's good. They can pump that content out now, especially with all the tools they've been building over the last 5+ years for that. Gameplay loops wise, once we have iCache and server meshing, it should come a lot quicker. The basic gameplay loops, including salvage, repair, rearm, refuel, loads of different economy stuff, mining done properly, bases, crafting, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different types of mission, and all the in-betweens with emergent gameplay that will sort of like be associated with that bounty hunting, all that jazz as well. NPCs standing on chairs have gotten better in 3.12, yes, but it still happens. Was this supposed to be fixed in 3.12? They didn't say specifically it had been fully fixed. But it's better, I think, because the server tick rates are more stable, question mark. But my frame rate is lower, so... When they we talked about boats. How big do you think static server meshing V1 will be? 1 server per star system, per planetary system? That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure for the first version of server meshing exactly what first stage static server meshing will be. The way it's been explained to me is that there'll be a server per planetary system, is what I think they wanted to do. So, but that could be version 2. Maybe they just want to have version 1 will just be standard system is its own server, pyro system is its own server. But I would expect it to be a bit more than that for the initial rollout. Are you a hoarder? No. No. I'm very liquid with my assets, typically. I do have a lot of random shit in my room, because I also sell Warhammer model stuff. Which is Star Citizen handle? BoredGamer. BoredGamer. I'm unsure which is you. Oh. BoredGamer, BoredGamer UK are my public ones, I believe. Will some ships also be able to land on water? I bet they want buoyancy and stuff like that. So I would expect so, yes. They have basically said that. Do you have any idea whether the briefing room format was ditched? Yes, they specifically talked about it. So they said the briefing room will return when Squadron 42 is closer to release. They basically said, look, the stuff with the briefing room is great, but the stuff that we want to show in the briefing room is also stuff that we want to use to hype the game when it's closer to release, and we don't want to have spoilers. So the more stuff we show between now and then, the less marketing and hype material we have for the future. So it's just not appropriate to really have this Squadron 42, this form of update until it's closer to release. We are still going to have the roadmap, which is now being updated, and the monthly reports. You can certainly be annoyed about that, because I was. I was like, oh, come on. GIF. I have a 600i and upgraded the pilot weapons to repeaters. What would you recommend for upgrade of the size 3 remote turret weapons? They're currently sucker punch or something. The distortion weapons are pretty strong to have some distortion weapons along with actual weapons that will cause permanent damage. Thank you very much for the sub. Kill 25 kill. What else have we got? BoredGamer from UK Realsies. Wow. What would your ideal base be in Star Citizen? That's a good question. What's your ideal base? So, I want the ability to be able to craft stuff. So, in general, I'll talk... I can't tell you exactly what I want as my perfect base, but I can tell you what I want from base gameplay. So, I want the ability to be able to do full crafting from bases. So, repair, rearm, refuel, and potentially even like shipbuilding and component building, maybe. I think that would be pretty cool. But the idea for me for bases is that it allows you to have your cool home, have manufacturing going on, have exploitation of resources on a planet, have crafting of your munitions and your fuel going on, and then you can house your org or your sort of like your area of operation out of that base, so that you can be in a totally lawless system that has no UEE presence or no stations, and just live there, yeah, and repair your ships there and have your orgs stationed there at your base or whatever. But how do you dislodge an org from a system? You take out their base. When you take out their base, they can't repair, rearm, and refuel in the same way, and they've got to go to a different system. So that's the sort of gameplay I want from that. But obviously, customization of bases, making your little complex little homestead for yourself is going to be cool, because there's so much space in Star Citizen. They can do it. They can have people have relatively large sprawling bases, and they've talked about having a god view, proper base building mechanics. They've talked about making the Pioneer into an actual mobile base/factory builder now, rather than just an outpost builder. So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to the changes there. It's exploitation of resources on planets. Is there a police system in game? Yes. So there's a law system, but there's also a effectively heat generation system. So if you're wanted by the cops, they'll come after you. There's different levels of wanted levels, and they'll send more and more and more cops after you, and space stations will target you and stuff like that as well. If you're a large enough concentration of criminals, so it will work out the criminal rating of everyone in the area, they'll get harder and harder ships, including Nitris could come after a group of you. Will you be able to place your own buildings? That's the plan with base building, yes. I want 5,000 buildings on each planet. Well, there's going to be land claims as well, and I suspect that buildings and base building will be very expensive functionally, so bear that in mind. Yeah, like Wormhole and Nullsec bases, and Wormhole bases, I suppose is what I would actually mean, because that's what I have experience in. Do you expect we will be allowed to build downward into the ground tunnelling? I don't think so. There could, I suppose, they could have that ability. It wouldn't be tunnelling, though, because I don't think they want you to be able to deform the terrain. But I suppose you could build buildings that have underground parts, maybe? I don't know. The only thing I know that deformation-wise you'll be able to do is change the topsoil in areas so that you can do farming there. That's the sort of stuff they've talked about anyway. Enjoyed the recent video with Zin playing the mining gameplay and commenting on her experience. A beginner's look at Star Citizen, if you will. I like that a lot. Can we have series? Yeah, I can get Zin to do some more videos like that of the gameplay. We'll also be talking about it a lot more and getting more involved with that stuff. Deathfruit, thanks very much for gifting Ancient Mew a sub. Appreciate it. When it comes to shipping in a Hull C, will we have to purchase the goods, or will there be missions to transport goods? I believe both. I believe there will be freight missions where they will ask you to potentially put down a deposit, but they'll give you the goods to transport. More freight missions. Will the Polaris be able to land on planets? Then any thought about bases in space? It's possible that we could have space station building in the future. That's a possibility. But they haven't confirmed that. One of the original sort of financial stretch goals was to have player-managed space stations. So I think that's still potentially going to be a thing. You should be able to land the Polaris. So some large ships, they are going to struggle getting out of some atmospheres. And then you might need other ships to help you, or to get rid of your cargo. I say other ships helping you with the tractor beams. Out of the CIG merch to buy, have you thought about doing some sort of review of it? Example, the keychain is nice. Also, the back pleasure. Not really. I like the Star Citizen hoodie, and I dislike this hat, the concierge hat, which cost me like I think it was $30. It's not the highest quality of a hat in the world. It's like, I think it's a mixed bag with merch. If CIG sent me a piece of merch every time for free, that would be pretty cool. Give me merch, and then I can actually review it and talk about it and wear it. When Star Citizen is beta or out, will insurance be different than how it is currently? Yes. You'll have to purchase insurance with in-game money, not with real money, to cover various elements and parts of your ship. If you want to cover all those expensive guns that you put on it, for example, and that will cost you. And there'll be times associated, probably much longer times, for claiming your ships. Randy Random, thank you very much for becoming a board gamer. Very much appreciated. Appreciate people making use of that join button to help support the channel. Will third-person view be available when the game is launched? So, they obviously want cinematic camera stuff, but I'd expect so. I'm hoping they do it with like a little drone that just sort of flies next to you for third person or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be able to use third person camera to be able to look around corners or to gain an advantage. I don't think ship/component crafting/ manufacturing is planned gameplay loop at the moment, is it? So they've briefly said that they wanted crafting in game to some extent, but they didn't really elaborate further. We do know that there's factory nodes that make, as part of the universe simulation, they do take the raw materials and the refined materials and actually build the components and then have those go to shops in game. Have you given any consideration of putting a nice Christmas hat on Chris Roberts? Oh, I should have. I should have. That would have sold it, wouldn't it? Why do some people hate on lifetime insurance and some people only want that when buying ships? I don't know. It's just some people like the idea of it and some people hate it. I think some people feel that it's dumb and overpowered. Other people think it's meaningless. And other people like me that think it's sort of like very minor. But I can get all my ships with lifetime insurance, so why wouldn't I? I just don't think it's going to be a huge thing, lifetime insurance. It's going to follow the hull of the ship, but it's only going to follow the base hull of the ship. It's not going to follow any of the modifications you make to your ship, as far as I'm aware. So I think that the cost of a ship's hull and the actual ship and its default loadout is going to be pretty cheap compared to all of the like top A-class military components that you can put on it. I don't think what have we got? I know this Christian is done to death, but do you think Star Citizen will be released before 2025? Because it's looking like a super black hole of cash. I don't think it's looking super black hole of cash. Slow development, but they are obviously developing something, and they're putting a lot of information out about that. Obviously, a lot of people play Star Citizen and are interested in it. I think that 2024, 2025 is an area where we will get a Star Citizen beta. That looks realistic to me. And Squadron 42 well before that. Now, beyond that, I suspect that then there's still going to be a huge amount to do on Star Citizen beyond 2025. But I do think we'll be in the realms of a much more fleshed out playable game. That people will go, this is like a good playable game! Oh, Death Fruity, you are a legend. Right. Any other quick questions? Because I'm going to dash off and get this video out Thank you very much for Narco for poking me and saying, do you want to have a look at the Idris? Yeah, I did. It was great. Thank you very much. Him stealing an interesting game, you monster. And able to store it, which I didn't know was a thing. What do you think is the next gameplay loop coming in 2021? Salvage? Data running? Well, salvage is being worked on for 2021. I think bounty hunting is going to get a lot more expanded out, for sure. Data running is a strong possibility as well. There's a huge amount of stuff that you could consider the next gameplay loop as well. But what I'm most looking forward to and excited for is, in the short term, the XenoThreat missions. I want stuff to do in these major patches. I want something to participate in, something exciting to do, something that's fun, something that's potentially almost exclusive. It's like, oh, cool event that I can get involved with. That will take, that will do a couple of weeks of content or 3 weeks of content or so. Great, along with all the other bits that's going on. So some of the Prospector is directly from CIG. Other bits of the Prospector is Sin. Not me. No. She drunk, not me. No gameplay loops for you. Come back in next year. No, we should have some. We should have some more solid gameplay loops. I mean, the salvage and stuff's getting worked on. They're obviously working on the resource system, physicalized components, and basically engineering and damage control stuff, which I think will actually get released this year. So, and we'll talk more about that in a separate video. I suspect. I suspect because I'll probably be making it. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me today and having a bit of a Star Citizen chat. I appreciate that. As I said, there will be a video going out pretty soon. Thank you very much for everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel by donating, becoming a channel member, Twitch subscribing, all of that sort of jazz. Who do you want me to go and host? Should we give Space Cutlet some love? Should we give Space Cutlet some love? People were talking about Space Cutlet earlier. /raid. Boop. Thank you very much for watching today. It is very much appreciated. I love you loads. There'll be loads more content coming out in the next week or so. Hopefully you'll have a great 2021. Yeah, love you loads. Peace out. Kisses. Mwah. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Donate. I don't know. Click on the links. Bye, NordVPN.